Pastuh on the line from Active Life. We've got my mentor, Ken Andrukow, who you've seen a couple of times now. But I'm still going to have them start with a quick introduction of who they are so that you can understand why I am so excited for this conversation in the next 45 minutes. Dr. Sean, let's start with you.
Oh, thanks. So I'll give you guys the long story short so that we can get to the meat. I met Amber recently because I wrote a book, and Ken, who's also my mentor, had told me, you should write a book. I was like, I did write a book. And they said, well, you should speak to Amber about making sure that the world sees it. And essentially that book was about experiences that I've had in my life where it seemed like everything was up against me, where it seemed like I had every good reason to fail at something. And I was able to turn it into something, or frankly, fail and take the lesson from it. And the book is called I Can Do Anything. And the reason we called it that is because when my daughter, I have 3 daughters, 5 years old, 3 years old, 1 year old. When my 5-year-old was about 3.5, she would get really frustrated anytime she couldn't do something. And she would say, I can't do it, I can't do it, I can't do it. So one night we went upstairs to her room and I was like, look, we're going to work this through for as long as it takes. And I said, when daddy says, what can you do? You say, I can do anything. And we practiced that in all kinds of scenarios, probably for about 2.5 hours in her room. I told my wife, I'm like, no matter what you hear, you stay out. She was like, okay. And after that, my daughter never had a problem. Well, that's an exaggeration. She's able to work through her frustration more now. And it's all because she says, I can do anything. And it's something that we've brought to my companies, Active Life Professional and Active Life RX, where we help people get out of pain without going to the doctor or missing the gym. And we help coaches, doctors, and gym owners understand how to provide the same level of service for their clients that we provide for ours. And the interesting thing about both companies is that I think that what we do for our clients far transcends what they sign up for. They come in to get out of pain or to learn how to make money. And the principles that we teach them about how to be more self-reliant, more self-aware, more efficacious, and more confident, they seep into everything else in their lives. And that's what I'm hoping to be able to share with you and your audience today.
So awesome. When I first got to talk with Dr. Sean and he told me the expanded version of why he wrote his book, I mean, he gripped me with his story and I haven't been able to let it go. I haven't wanted to let it go. It's impacted my parenting and it's just, we're going to talk about a lot of really amazing things today. So be sure to start a watch party. It's at the bottom right-hand corner of the screen. Whether you're on mobile or desktop, there should be a little start button or start watch party button. It's just going to notify people in your community that this conversation is happening now. And Ken, I know that you've been on before, but for the new people, because this thing has taken off like crazy, so much so that now we've launched an ambassador program so that other speakers are now hosting their own Elevate series on their channels, interviewing the people in their community underneath the Elevate series brand. Can't even tell you what that means to me. So Ken, we have all kinds of new people watching today. Tell them a little bit about your background.
Was there ever any doubt, Amber?
No. Because I believe, and you know, we were lucky enough to have Bob Berg on this morning. Thank you, Ken, so much for making that happen. I believe in the power of giving and of doing good things in the world. And without thought of what the outcome is going to be, really, because you just know that there is going to be a positive outcome because you're putting that positive force in the world. So no, man, there was no doubt.
I can't wait for everyone to hear Sean's story of giving that has been going on for the last couple of weeks.
Me too.
So I'll make mine really quick. My name is Ken Andrukow. I am a successful entrepreneur who spends most of his time nowadays avoiding running his own businesses so he can help people like Amber and Sean do better at theirs. I'm immensely proud of both of you guys. You guys are doing amazing, amazing things. And the future for you guys is lights out. I mean, the path that I can see forward for both of you is dramatically different than what it is right now today. And today is already pretty great. So that's what I do. I really, what I really try to make sure that every one of my clients in the mentoring side of my life understand is that giving away influence by telling your story is the true secret to success. And you guys do it better than most anyone I know. So that's me.
Freaking love you, Ken. Thank you. For those of you who are new to me, because there are many people who's like, who's this Amber chick? I started my business back in 2007. It's NG Enterprises, which stands for No Guts, No Glory. And we work with authors and speakers and coaches. And one of three ways we build websites. We've launched nearly 1,000 high performance websites now. It's just amazing. Each client is so personal to me. This isn't just business, it's deeply personal. Then once we have their platform established, we're teaching them about online marketing so that they can get their message out to the world. And then as of the conversation that I had with Dr. Sean, we also do bestseller book launch campaigns as well. Honestly, this doesn't even feel like work. This is like my happy place. And Sean, I saw your story earlier today and I wanted to make some sort of joke about like, so let's dig into the fitnessy things that we could be talking about, because he's like, finally, we're not going to be talking about fitness stuff. We're going to be talking about the principles of active life. So there, okay, I just had to address it because I thought it was really funny that you said that. Talk to me more about what is going on inside of active life. I know really amazing things, but for those people who are new to you and your companies, talk to us a little bit more about what you're doing.
I would love to do that. Before I get into doing
Okay.
that, I tried to do the little start the watch party.
Yeah.
My audio is coming through. So I would love some help to be able to get this out and not ruin the audio.
Well, it should naturally correct itself. So as long as you've started the watch party, like I noticed this morning, we had started a watch party. And when I went to go back and view it, it said no video found. And so I quickly went to my team, like, what's going on? Did my interview with Bob even get recorded? And Julie was like, yeah, it's playing for me. And then all of a sudden it corrected itself. So as long as you hit the button, I think you're cool.
I hit the button. So, okay, I'll catch you guys up with what we're doing and I'll give you some background on it. I have some unique experiences growing up that led me to being extremely, extremely comfortable with conflict. And when I say conflict, I mean the things that typically make people really uncomfortable in terms of the uncertainty that comes from them. So I'll go through them with you here briefly so that people can understand why what's going on right now is like, this is easy. This is the default for me. This is where I like to operate from. I have to do much less thinking to be effective right now. When I was a freshman in college, 2001, 9/11 hits. My baseball coach passes away, family member passes away, tons of uncertainty. I'm away at school. About a month and a half later, a tornado ripped through my college and took two sisters over my dorm room in their car, and dropped them on the other side. Right? It was legit. It was a Category 4 rip through our campus.
Gosh.
So a year after that, we had the Beltway sniper in Washington, D.C. If you remember the Beltway sniper, he was just shooting people while they pumped gas. So everyone was really, really, really scared. In the Washington, D.C. area. I went to University of Maryland. I graduate college. I go to chiropractic school. I start my first business in 2011. And months after we're open, my next door neighbor sued us for making too much noise. So I got served a temporary restraining order on a Thursday night that said, Sean, you have to be in court on Monday or your business is closed. Like, we're not even open 6 months yet. So we go to court. I get a lawyer. We go to court. And it ends up being a court case that drags out about 5 months. We win the court case. No, I'm serious. October 25th. In fact, you can look up articles if you go to the New York Post, because I didn't speak to them. Only one side is reported. You can look up muscle-bound meatheads, New York Post. It's a fun article to read.
Wow.
But so October 25th, 2012, we found out that we won the lawsuit. For anybody who knows anything, Monday of the following week, Hurricane Sandy came and washed us out. So it was like this elation, and you don't get a week to think about it. And I remember when Hurricane Sandy hit, we were like, what are we going to do? How are we going to open back up? Do we open back up? And then I started getting contacts from other gym owners and from other business owners from out of town and friends and family. And a gym in Houston had raised $2,000 and they just sent it to us. 2 equipment companies started sending us equipment. A gym in Connecticut sent their repair and maintenance guy to come out and fix whatever equipment we could. And we found ourselves in a situation where we're like, we have to open and we have to stay open. We have to be successful because these people put their faith and their effort into us. So in a time like this, when I'm in the position to repay that, we're doing everything we can to do that. And the last week and a half, we've given away $1.8 million in education to people. We just opened it up to coaches who want to create an opportunity to be more valuable when they get back to business as usual. We gave away $1.8 million worth of it. We created template programs to help people get out of pain from anywhere in the world. And we're selling them. They used to be $150. We're giving people $50 off. And then we're offering them the opportunity to write any gym's name that they want. And we will send a check for $50 to that gym. And then we'll keep the rest to pay our staff and keep the things running. I'm not exactly sure how much we're up to on that, but I think we're right around $10,000 to give away by now.
Wow. Okay, Ken, I'm going to put you on the spot because you know a different side of this, right? That's what's been happening in the public. It's been massively helping everybody in Sean's world. You know a different side, though. Is there anything else that you want to contribute or expand upon? The way that Sean's been showing up or anything that he's done that impressed you or that you thought was noteworthy?
Well, let's look. I'm part of the fitness industry as well. I own a gym. It's been the government mandated closure of the gym in our city. So I get what's going on for the fitness professional in the world. What Sean and I talked about and what led to this decision to give away a lot of that education was that nobody in the fitness industry in the advisory role position were standing up and putting their influence first. And so I said, let's give away your influence, which is his education platform, so that he can stand front and center and say, I'm doing everything I possibly can. Look, Sean can't afford to give $1.8 million worth of education away. He's doing it because it's the right thing to do. And he knows that when everything clears up, there's going to be an army of active life educated coaches delivering better product and service to the public that are looking for fitness. Period, the end. And that means he will have a huge amount of people standing there ready to support him. It's very strategic, but it's strategic because it's the right thing to do. And this is going to show the world of fitness and professionals who the leader really is. And it's that guy.
I appreciate that. One of the things, do you mind if I jump in for a second?
Please. This is conversational,
Okay.
so we can ask each other questions, however it needs to go, because this is powerful. Go ahead.
So it comes at a serendipitous time. We were about to, I schedule our social media ahead of time. And we were about to roll out what I was calling the new hierarchy of needs for business development, starting last week. And the idea of the hierarchy of needs for business development is that I believe there are too many people out there who are looking for the next tactic to be successful. What's the ad I need to run? What's the price I need to be at? What is the product I need to create so that the market will actually like it? And that's all backwards. And even if you do that and you get to making $100,000, $200,000, $1 million a year, it leads to burnout because it's not in line with your beliefs. So our hierarchy of needs for business development has the base of beliefs. What do you believe is important, must be done, and would be valuable if the world had it? That's where everything starts. The next lineup is, what are the habits that you create because of the beliefs that you have? Then how do you communicate because of the habits that you now have when people ask you, why do you do that? Then what service do you want to create to mirror your communication habits and beliefs? And then what are the tactics that you use? And when we looked at our company's core values, which are integrity, professionalism, tribe first, and a growth mindset, the question was, how can we act with integrity and support our tribe? Because that's what we say we do. And we looked at this product that we started building last August. It's cost us close to $100,000 to build it. We planned on using it as a springboard in April to really build some revenue for the rest of the year. And we're like, screw it, let's give it away. Because it was in line with our beliefs. So it all feels good. Even though Ken's right, I can't afford that. We can't afford that. It's a question of, we don't feel like we could afford not to, because if we just went ahead and sold it right now, as we plan to, it's out of line with what we believe would be in high integrity.
So then what's the next step? How do you shift the conversation? Because this is something that a lot of people are faced with right now. There's a lot of people giving away a lot of free products right now, free services, free Elevate series, free meditation circles, free everything, which is great. It feels good to give back. It feels so good to serve. It's the right thing to do. And the other side of that coin is these people have payroll. They have cash flow issues. They have families that are relying on their income and their ability to produce. So there is this, it's going to get trickier and trickier as that pressure starts to come together. How do we transition out of that or into something that's a lower offering? I love what you said, that you took a $150 template and made it $50 off. So you're still monetizing, but you're doing it in a way that feels good for you. Do we have any other collective advice around this?
Without a doubt. I want to be clear. We gave away $1.8 million of education. We're also up 10% this month across the board in our businesses. We're still selling, and we're selling aggressively. The thing is this, I think that the problem that most people run into when they look at a sale, especially in a situation like today, is they look at a sale and they start considering, what is the cost of action for the person who's going to buy from me? Meaning, it costs them what? It costs them money, it costs them time, it costs them effort, it costs them belief, it costs them sacrifice. What are they going to do this instead of, right? All of the things that come with having to buy something. And then because people look at all of that and they add to it, no one knows where their next paycheck is going to come from. I couldn't possibly sell to somebody. And then they don't sell. When this happened, it was important to go back to our sales team especially and restructure their beliefs, make sure that they were solid. We're not pushing anything onto anybody. We're not asking anybody to do anything. We're offering people the opportunity to do something should they want to. And our number one rule in sales is only sell to people in the market for it, and always sell to people in the market for it.
Same.
So we believe that the person who enjoys selling internalizes the cost of inaction for the client. So the coach who was the business person, whoever it is, who was frustrated before this hit, they're still going to be in the same business when this is over. They don't have to be in it frustrated anymore. We can help them gain the education necessary to have a skill set that's execution capable right now and increases their value long term. So we went out and we have called everybody who has ever done anything with us to make sure that we couldn't possibly be helping them more right now by selling them something else. And
that's amazing.
We sold a ton.
What a reframe that is. That's amazing. And I know it's helping people listening right now, because some of the conversations that I'm a part of out there is they don't know, first of all, they're afraid to sell in this climate, this market. They're faced with their own pressures and anxieties, and these are people that are used to giving. So they want to give, but it's hard to receive. That's something that we talked about with Bob this morning. So I think that's really powerful. Sean, I also am curious, like, what are some of the conversations that you've had with those clients, in terms of the pivots they've had to make, what concerns they are faced with or challenges they're faced with, or flip it, like what's working for them? What are some cool ideas that you've heard just out, in the past week that we could share with our audience?
So I think it starts with the beliefs. It starts with the mindset. If someone's listening to this who owns a sanitation company, what they need to do is not the same as what a fitness company needs to do, but the mindset that they need to have, the beliefs that they need to have are exactly the same. The beliefs are, it's ethical and necessary that I continue to grow my business right now. So one of the metaphors that we've been talking to a lot of our clients about is everybody can just about relate to the bullying situation, like a kid getting bullied in school. A lot of my staff joke around that the only reason we have a business is because I got bullied in 7th grade.
Yeah.
So they're like, Sean's still trying to prove to the world that they can't bully him. Fine. So when I explain to our clients that when you're being bullied, you have options. Option 1, find an adult and let them fix it for you. Option 2, do something about it yourself. And I believe that the bullying right now is circumstances. It's the world. It's this uncertainty. It's this disease. It's this shutdown. It's when can I reopen? And people are out there with their hand out, waiting for the government to give them, what's your next step? Here's your money. Here's your thing. They're waiting for the adult to come pull circumstances off of them. And I think that that's an ineffective way to be thinking. We need to be thinking about how can we change circumstances? How can we use what's existing right now and flip it so that we can grow? And the first way to think about it is, as much as I would love every single professional to think this way, they won't. So their clients are looking for somebody who will. And I mean, think about it. 6 out of 7 people are still getting their paycheck right now. Those people are still looking for high value services. If you're not out there offering it to them because you can't imagine the 6 out of 7 people who want to spend their money right now, then you can't service those 6 out of 7 people. If everyone thought like you, they'd be frustrated. Someone's going to sell them something. It might as well be you.
I love that mindset.
And isn't it really just like you either believe in the value you're delivering through your product or service, or you don't?
Yeah.
Like if you're worried about selling it in this environment, it's probably because you don't actually believe in what you're doing.
That's a great point. We talked to a gym yesterday. We brought a new gym on to our highest level of service, and they were very nervous about how could we possibly invest this kind of money now. It's more than $20,000 to start with us. And they're like, how could we invest that now? We don't even know when we're going to be open. We don't know how many members are going to be with us when we do. In their case, they just bought property that they were going to put a building on. They just found out it's more expensive to build than they thought. They're like, we just can't justify investing in this right now. And my question to them was, do you believe that what we are going to do with you is going to get you more time, more impact, and more money? And they said, yeah, definitely. And my answer to them was, well, then you can't afford not to do this right now. And I tell all of our team, if you think it's going to take you 30 minutes to help somebody buy something, set aside 70. So in this time, it usually takes me about 45, 50 minutes to help somebody buy our top line service. I set aside 2 hours, and it took almost all of it. And when they were done, they bought. And today we had their launch call for their entire team about, what are you guys going to do now? And they were all so thankful on the call that I pushed them to buy, because now they're through their fear and they're taking action towards the positive, which wasn't an option for them before.
That's such a powerful example. The way that I've been looking at it as a visual, I imagine this river just running wild. And I tell my team, I am going to swim upstream with every freaking ounce of energy that I have. I am doubling down on all of our services with all of our clients. I will do whatever it takes to get our voice out there, because I know for a fact we will take care of you. I know for a fact we get results. I know for a fact we're efficient. And it's like this energy, you can probably feel it. I got to calm down a little bit. It's this passion that comes through just to serve and really make a positive impact that's long lasting. They're not quick fixes here. And that's what I'm getting from the way that you serve your clientele too. I continue to just see more and more why Ken was so insistent on us connecting. So Ken, you're so great. I appreciate you.
You guys are so similar in the way that you serve your clients. It's crazy. And guess what? If everyone mimics what you guys do, they'll understand that this is what successful people do. This is how you serve. This is it. Like, there's no grand secret. It's hard work. You got to put a lot of effort in. You got to deliver a lot of value, and you got to believe in what you're doing. That's it.
It is hard work. I mean, I will add to that, like, I get to the point where at the end of the day, like, I have exhausted myself because I have put it all on the line. And now I have a fierce self-care regimen that I'm doing every single day because I have to keep my energy levels up, because I'm holding a lot of people up. I'm holding communities up. I'm leading initiatives. And is it ever scary? Hell yeah, it's scary. But I don't live in that place of fear. I might feel the fear coming in, or the scarcity or the panic, and immediately I have awareness and I self-correct and I think, nope, I don't have time for that right now. And then I focus on the next possible action that I can take to ground me and keep me aligned with my purpose, which right now is just to lead and to give and to help elevate the conversation and what people are doing. What were you going to say, Dr. Sean?
Well, what you were just describing is true. One of my mentors who I worked with before Ken is a guy named Jesse Itzler. I don't know if you know who
Yeah,
Jesse is or not.
sure.
So one of the things that Jesse talks about is, great, how? Great, how? How? And it doesn't matter what the thing is. The only question that matters is, how are you going to do it? Instead of why can't you? It's how will you? So when you look at what's going on now with whatever it is that you do for a living, for us, it was helping people get out of pain using gym equipment inside of a gym. A lot of people lost access to gym equipment inside of a gym. Well, okay, who doesn't care? Runners. So we're pivoting all of our attention to find new clientele to runners. We have content for them, and they're not going to need a bunch of equipment. They're used to not using it. What is the new problem that gyms face? We can't use the old message. It doesn't work right now. They can't go into their gym and sell personal training. But what principles carry through? How can it still be valuable? And I think a lot of people stop as soon as it gets difficult. They see this wall and they're like, we can't do that. Well, why not? Because this. Well, how do we make sure those things aren't true? Well, then we'd have to do this, and this. How? And you just keep on going until the next thing to do is call somebody or type something.
I think I feel called to share or add that you might need a mentor during this time, right? Because you might be so in it in your own experience, and it's hard for you to get perspective. So having conversations with Ken, I actually have a few other people that I lean on almost weekly that they give to me in very different ways, but it gets me out of my own issue. It's like it gets me out of my own barriers or blockages. It gets me thinking in a different way. And it's just such a relief having that support. If for some reason you can't afford to have a mentor, you don't know where to go, even see if you can reach out into your own community, and maybe you have a colleague that's in a different industry, and maybe you guys can set up an accountability call, for an hour a week on Zoom, and you just get together over coffee and openly brainstorm and address questions and challenge each other to ask the how. I love that. It's such a simple technique.
Well, and if I can jump in on that, I think that the can't afford it is an example of
Yeah.
the can't, right? I hired my first mentor when I was working 17-hour days, Monday through Friday, and then like a 12-hour Saturday, and then just spent all day Sunday feeling bad about myself for not getting anything done during the week. And I decided I wasn't going to do that anymore. And I hired a mentor who cost me $1,000 a month for 1 2-hour meeting a month. My wife was like, "What are you doing? You can't afford that." I'm like, "We're not going to live like this anymore. So it doesn't matter." Like if I didn't think that this person could help me produce more wealth, I wouldn't have paid them. And then I remember in the first meeting, he was like, "You want to make more money, you got to be a better person." And that was a gut punch.
I remember you telling me that story. It was such a good one.
But it's never been more important that I had that mentor in my past than right now, because the old me before then would have been like, how do I get mine? How do I get mine right now? Like, there's not enough. I need mine. Having the experience I had there allowed me to learn how to practice and gain and improve my empathy for other people so that I could understand how to create mine instead of getting it. Create mine by giving to them.
I can't stand this, but we only have like 5 to 7 minutes left. It feels like we literally just started. Time is crazy. I didn't want to cut you off. I was just going to have everybody go around and share like a last takeaway, like whatever's in your mind or heart to share right now. But I don't want to stop your train of thought either, Ken, if you had
Yeah,
something.
I was just going to add this, is that anyone listening to this is probably a fairly ambitious person. They are out there trying to figure out how to, make their business better, create more value, have more wealth, all these things. And being that you're an ambitious person, you're already thinking beyond your current capacity. Like, I do this all the time. I know you two do it all the time. And when you think beyond your capacity, you stall. You stop. Because you're asking, many people, you guys aren't this way as much anymore. You're asking the wrong question. That is, what do I do? What do I have to do to make this happen? And because it's beyond your capacity, your current capacity, you stop. And that's the start of procrastination on an idea. So the proper question is not what, but who. And the reason why I'm adding it is because you guys were talking about, like, how do you hire a mentor or find a mentor or have someone help you? That's the right question. It's who, not what.
Mm-hmm.
Because that who, if you choose wisely, has already has that capacity and can free it up for you so you can have clarity, confidence, and move forward. So it's who, not what.
Freaking love this guy, right?
It's all right.
Well, Dr. Sean, what is on your heart and mind to share as like a parting wisdom?
Yeah, I shared this the other day, and I think you commented on it. And it's the idea that in a time like right now, there are two things that people are thinking a lot about. One is we're all in the same boat. At least we're all in the same boat. And the other is I need to change these things about myself. I worry too much, or I'm too out of control, or whatever. People have these things that they feel like they need to change about themselves, especially right now when things aren't working. And I would implore people to start thinking differently. I'd implore people to stop thinking that they're in the same boat as anybody else and start thinking of themselves as a part of the ocean that moves the boat. So instead of being somebody who's affected by the waves and the winds and the sun and the rain and all that nonsense, be the sun and the wind and the rain and the water and all that stuff that drives other people. If you're the ocean, you can create calm for anybody who's in a boat. You don't need to be nervous. And the way to do that is to look at who you are, and instead of trying to change who you are, leverage who you are. If you're a worrier, okay, how do we worry productively? How do we look at all of the things that are constantly on your mind and leverage the value of that? Who can you be reaching out to? How can you be providing actionable support to those people? If you're someone who overanalyzes, how do you start analyzing what needs to happen a week from now so that when we get there, it's extremely effective? If you're someone who craves attention and you feel like you shouldn't be craving attention, how do you help something that is extremely valuable get attention. And if you're someone who feels like they're a control freak, how do you help put people in position to best leverage their abilities right now? That's how you become the ocean.
That was one of the most powerful things that's been said on the Elevate series so far. That was incredible. Okay, Julie, you're watching this. What Dr. Sean just said, I want to snip that out. We're going to freaking blast that all over the place. That was so good. Gosh,
Thanks.
I love that. Thank you.
I'll put it in a book.
Ken, do you think you want to follow that up? Because I don't.
Yeah, I want to say thank you to you, Amber. I know this is the work that you've been doing to create the Elevate series has not been easy. It has been simple, but not easy. The concept, I think you and I on a call went through it in about 5 minutes, and then you took off running. So it's been simple, not easy. And I want to thank you for putting all of this time and effort and expense into developing it. It is having a big effect. And it's having the desired effect that you had. I know it. I know it. Even if it's, it's the old cliche, but even if it affects one person and it keeps them from, losing a business and taking a step forward and thriving, great. I know it's a lot more than that, but let's start there. So I just want to thank you. What I've been watching all of them, the value that you are putting out there is immense. So thank you. And I'm proud of you.
That's amazing. Thank you. I really appreciate that. And we have so many more panel discussions coming up. So I was just pulling up the schedule. Tomorrow we have John Ramstead from Beyond Influence, John Rulin from Giftology. We have Steve Drum, retired Navy SEAL, coming in to talk to us. Dr. Don Wood and Dr. Debbie Silber to talk about trauma and how we move through that emotion. And that's just tomorrow. This series is outrageous. I'm so grateful to both of you for being here. My parting wisdom is this. I, years ago, opened up a fortune cookie and it said, do the thing you fear and the death of fear is certain. And man, for an NGNG junkie, no guts, no glory, the way that that was worded, do the thing you fear and the death of fear is certain. It just blasted me in the face, man. And so ever since then, I lean into fear. If I'm afraid to pick up the phone and call somebody, if I'm afraid to ask for a favor, if I'm afraid to ask for an order, if I'm afraid to send out an email, whatever it is, I lean into it and I look at it as a personal challenge to crush it and go through it anyway, because then I won't be afraid anymore. Yesterday, the past 2 days, we've had a 2-day event for authors that was supposed to be in person. We moved it virtual. And one of the big things that I kept pounding into them for 2 days straight was go out and use your voice and do live streaming. Please do live streaming. Live streaming is viewed 6 times more than regular video. Authors are needed now more than ever before with their message. Dr. Sean, you're talking about you can do it. You can do anything. Yes, get that message out. Abso-freaking-lutely, with all of the parents that are home right now homeschooling that need your message. Oh my gosh. And you're one. It's like all of the authors out there. I just want you to lean into whatever fears that you have and get your message heard, get your voice out there. The how do I monetize? What is it going to grow into stuff? You'll figure it out when the time is right. For now, just open your mouth and deliver what is ever in your heart and mind. And that is exactly what the Elevate series is for. I'm so grateful to everybody who keeps showing up. You subscribe to the NGNG Facebook page so you can watch the replays and the future episodes. You're starting watch parties. You're donating to COVID and economic relief organizations. Yes, right? I'm so grateful. Guys, thanks again for being here. I wish we had more time. I mean, I know we're going to have more time, but it was impactful to me. You impacted me for sure today. Thank you for that.
Amber, thank you for the opportunity.
Thanks, Amber.
All right, guys, we'll see you tomorrow.
Yeah.